Mga dong, mga inday, maayong pag-abot. Dali, dali og hay man kamo sa kalibutan. Buckle up and welcome to LitBits, journeying to the bits of the world, where we learn significant concepts in 20 minutes. I am Teacher Deal. Are you ready? On our last session, we learned about the different elements of fiction. Can you recall what are the different elements of fiction? Good job! We also have read 2 flash fiction stories anchored in the theme folklore, and you did a great job in writing your own flash fiction. Most of them were entertaining and worth sharing. It made me want to go visit Badian and verify the stories from the locals myself. But as we know, we are still in the middle of the pandemic. Traveling and visiting wonderful places like Badian has been restricted. This pandemic has taken a toll on us, not just on tourism, but especially in education. Good thing we have talented students like you who were able to adapt in the new normal of education. Speaking of which, we are going to learn writing a free verse poem that highlights resiliency and coping mechanism at this time of uncertainty. This will be fun. Tara, magsugod na ta! To get started, let's discuss the different poetic devices that are often found in a free verse. Do you have an idea what are they? Yes, the commonly used poetic devices in free verse are repetition, alliteration, occasional rhyme at the end of the lines, patterns of assonance, and imagery. Repetition is a literary device that involves intentionally using a word or phrase for effect and to create rhythm. Alliteration, on the other hand, is a literary device that repeats a speech sound in a sequence of words that are close to each other. It uses consonant sounds at the beginning of the word to give stress to its syllables. Occasional rhyme occurs unpredictably in a poem with mostly unrhymed lines. Assonance, also known as a vowel rhyme, is the repetition of vowel sounds across a line of text or poetry. And lastly, imagery. It is a vivid and vibrant form of description that appeals to the reader's senses and imagination. These poetic devices are essential in writing an effective free verse. Now, let us have a short review before we move forward. Can you enumerate the commonly used poetic devices in free writing? Impressive! Let us unravel the characteristics of a free verse through this poem entitled I Know by Shivani Lad of India. Let us read and analyze its poetic devices. I know. I know it's difficult, but believe me, you will. I know situations are hard, but believe me, you heal. I know you're lonely, but need to walk alone. I know you're broken, but struggle is going on. I know you miss them, but this battle was tough. I know pain was extreme, but be strong enough. I know you lose hope, but keep little trust. I know this hurts you, but now wait is must. I know you need support, but have to stay separate. I know you feel guilty, but don't feel any regret. What have you noticed in the poem? Does it follow a regular meter or rhythm? Do you think the author followed a proper rhyme scheme or set of rules in writing the poem? That's right. The poem is based on normal pauses and natural rhythmical phrases as compared to artificial constraints of normal poetry. Let's go in and unfold what a free verse poem can offer with Teacher Cherry.
Thank you, Teacher Deal. To guide us in our learning journey, here are the objectives of the lesson. During the teaching-learning process, you are expected to identify the commonly used poetic devices used in a free verse. Analyze samples of free verse. Construct your own free verse. Share your coping mechanisms amidst the pandemic through your free verse. Now, let's define free verse. According to Edward Hirsch, free verse is poetry not dictated by an established form or meter and often influenced by the rhythms of speech. Yes, free verse is an open form, which means it has no predetermined structure and prescribed length. Since there's no rhyme scheme and no set metrical pattern, there are no specific rules for line breaks or stanza divisions. However, some poetic devices can still be present in a free verse for effect and rhythm. And there's more. Some free verses are so short that they might not resemble poems at all. Here is an example of a short free verse by American essayist and poet Walt Whitman entitled Leaves of Grass. He is also known as the father of free verse English poetry. I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me as good belongs to you.
With the poem of Walt Whitman, what do you think is the first rule in writing one? Or are there even rules to begin with? Of course, as explained, there are no rules. It is up to us on how we are going to form our poem. Haven't you thought of how liberating it is? The fact that we are free to do what we want? It makes us reminisce our best moments before COVID-19, where we were free to do things outside and be with our friends without even doing physical distancing. Now, we are confined within the walls of our houses and are waiting for COVID-19 to end its wrath. However, as proactive and flexible learners, we do not wait it to happen because it will take us years. Hence, we find and build ways to live with the virus or to follow steps or tips on how to end the virus. The same with free verse. Even if there are no rules nor structures to follow, tips and pieces of advice are still essential parts in perfecting our free verse, and we opt to follow them for guidance. According to William Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. Our spontaneous flow of powerful feelings may be jotted down through finding the core of our poem. The first step in writing is finding our theme. We ask ourselves these questions. What am I going to write about? What is bothering me today? What do I want to share with the world? It is best that we identify the theme of our free verse so we may align our thoughts and emotions accordingly. Now, the question is, how are we going to maintain the spontaneous flow of our emotions? One way is to listen to music to set the mood of our writing and or to isolate ourselves. The lonelier we are, the easier for us to think through. Imagine yourselves writing a free verse poem about your COVID-19 struggle, and you are in a rowdy place. Will you have the momentum to choose the correct words to represent your emotions? I bet not. We may not even finish our task because we are distracted. If we are now in tranquility, we are now ready to cry our tears through words. How are we going to use our words? We must use our 5 senses to bring life to our poem. The use of imagery and descriptive language helps us express the degree of pain and happiness that we felt, and through this, we are allowing our readers to also feel what we felt. That makes a poem powerful. However, we can make our poem more powerful and impactful if we know how to end it. How should we end our poem? We may end our poem by asking ourselves our last goodbye, our last hello, our conclusion of the emotions, or even our expected rainbow after the rain. How lovely and heartfelt it is to write a free verse poem. Do you agree?
To learn further how a free verse poem is written, let's explore and analyze another poem by Anusha Alex of India entitled COVID Lessons.
COVID Lessons. I feel the rhythm of the gentle breeze around. I hear the sound of chattering rain behind. In this beautiful autumn morning, I see the power of Creator blushing. Man is the king and crown of everything. He has the power of doing anything. He is proud of his mighty power. But I realize his weakness at this hour. With his great scientific findings, he tried to do many things. He thinks the world is at his fingertips. But Corona shattered and smashed his dreams. Pride and power, everything is in vain. Corona created great frustration. Utter pain he finds everywhere. Solution he finds nowhere. Corona is invisible to our naked eyes, yet troubling the entire humankind. It taught us to value our lives It made us to care for all at all times. Let us fight together against it. Then we shall overcome it. Let us break the chain together. May God bless us to live forever. By Anusha Alex of India.
What has Corona made you feel? Anusha Alex painted through words a reflection of how Corona made the world feel. From man being the kings and crown of everything, to finding nowhere the solution to the utter pain. Isn't that a big slap to humanity? This poem by Anusha spoke volumes as to how humanity has been heavily affected by the pandemic. If we were to reflect on the above-mentioned tips in writing a free verse poem, we may easily recognize by reading the poem that Anusha has a theme, which allowed the poet to identify the emotions to release in the poem. Anusha was able to choose the right words to put images in the minds of the readers. Imagery and descriptive language played a major role in the beauty of the poem. The first two lines allowed the readers to feel and hear the breeze and rain. Moreover, Anusha colored the poem in the latter parts with a description of humanity. But despite the tainted image of humanity, Anusha still hopes to God that the humanity may be blessed to live forever. Is it too demanding to ask for forever when a lot is dying due to Corona? What a powerful end of a free verse poem!
Now, let's check your understanding of a free verse poem. Reflect in your own experience for the past year since the COVID-19 pandemic started. Write your own free verse poem highlighting your coping mechanisms and the resiliency you have observed in your community. To make the experience more meaningful, you are going to post your free verse poem in social media platforms using the hashtag #HopeAmidstPandemic. You will be graded using the following rubric. Do your best and good luck!
Thank you, Teacher Cherry. I'm sure this will be another meaningful experience for you, students. Enjoy writing your own free verse poem, mga Doma Inday. Dirira Mikuto. This has been Teacher Deal, and this is LitBits, journeying to the bits of the world, where we learn significant concepts in 20 minutes.